I think China is doing some Tai Chi Kung Fu moves on the US tariffs.
Trump puts on a tariff and China puts on another tariff, and then Trump puts on a tariff and then there's another tariff from China. My future is being dictated by a dick measuring contest of existential proportions. And you want me to be calm about what?
The US is known for power and being aggressive, but I think the 5,000 year wisdom of China is to use some special Tai Chi moves. The US comes in like a bully and China just moves out of the way and lets the US power and weight cause us to stumble and trip over our own weight and momentum. It's amazing. It's wise. You know, the US came in saying, oh, China's bad. We need to ban TikTok. And then Americans go to Xiaohongshu and y'all are welcoming, kind, showing us your animals, your pets, your food, so welcoming and kind. And your kindness is fighting the bully. Your love, your kindness is fighting the bully. So Trump comes in, we're going to put tariffs because we're going to fight. And then China says, oh, you know, the Chinese manufacturers came out and said, hey, Americans, you know all those expensive Chanel and Gucci and Louis Vuitton purses and Nike shoes that y'all are buying so expensive? We make them here for cheap. Why don't you buy them from us cheap without the label? And Americans are happy. We're like, thank you so much. And then China says, y'all are welcome to come in for 280 hours to go shopping, and y'all can get like 13% cash back. Again, it's kindness, it's love. The US comes in with, we're gonna fight, we're gonna be, we're bullies. And China just says, you know what? We'll step out of the way and be welcoming and kind. And it makes the US look dumb. It makes us look like bullies. And it makes China look kind and honest. So keep being kind, keep being honest, keep using your wisdom to fight the bully, to show that love and kindness and harmony wins.
China baby, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all, you guys saw the tariffs and you said, okay, let me just spill some fucking tea right on quick.
Finally, the time comes. Let's just do it. Let's just get it on. Fight for it. They feel meaning of life. They feel like, whoa, it's a heaven call. There's something big things coming. Let's just do it together. Beautiful. Very interesting.
Hell no. They are not defeating America. Before you start cheering for America's downfall, ask yourself this. Do you even understand the regime you are wishing to rise in its place? If America's time is truly up, what replaces it? A world under China dominance? Let that settle in. Because what you're really endorsing, whether consciously or not, is a future shaped by communism, authoritarianism, technocratic surveillance, and a brand that places order above liberty. It's a society built on obedience, not individuality, conformity, not creativity, power concentration, not pluralistic collaboration. Now compare that to America, a liberal democracy grounded in capitalism, free markets, individualism, constitutional rule of law, pluralism, and the often messy but magical tension of diverse thought and dissent. Yes, things could get chaotic, but that's the birthplace of innovation. It's the price of freedom and the engine of progress. People love to point out America's flaws, but let's not forget why America rose to become the most powerful and influential nation in the modern world. It wasn't by fluke. It was built on a foundation of open ideas, risk-taking, collaboration, a culture that celebrated the dreamer and the doer. It created a world where a garage startup could take on global giants, where a child of immigrants could become president, where freedom of thought wasn't just tolerated, it was protected. And yes, like all empires, America had bad actors, corruption, and exploitation. But unlike most powers in history, America also had the internal checks and freedoms that allowed for reform, activism, and course correction. It's self-correcting by design, and that's a feature, not a bug. So when people scream, America's done, what they're really saying is, let's hand over the future to a regime that doesn't care if you speak freely, build freely, or even think freely. That's the real danger. When Trump says, make America great again, He's not glorifying inequality or injustice. He's reaching for the version of America that worked for all its people. The America that inspired global innovation, made prosperity scalable, and gave the world a cultural and economic framework to thrive. And yet, it seems that many people want to see Trump fail rather than America succeed. That mentality, that politicized bitterness doesn't exist in any other realm of life. You don't root against your pilot when the plane is crashing. But in politics, people would rather see the ship burn just to spite the captain. You see, this isn't just political, it's spiritual, it's ideological, it's civilizational. Because when America wins, the world wins. Why? Because America's dominance, when rooted in its best values, has always had the potential to uplift others. China's rise, on the other hand, it's not designed to share prosperity. It's designed to control the supply chain of it. America wants allies. China wants satellites. But let's look at history. Rome didn't fall because its enemies got stronger. It fell because it lost its inner clarity. But America, unlike Rome, has shown signs of reinvention. From civil rights to the tech revolution to the populist awakening, America rebuilds. It's painful, it's chaotic, but it's real. And Trump, he may not be the perfect solution, but he is the shock to the system. He is the rude awakening. He's the hard truth in an age addicted to comfort. He is not the cure, but he is the medicine. It's bitter, but necessary until the cure arrives. And the thing is, we need this medicine because what's the alternative? A world drugged under globalism, digital surveillance, and authoritarian coordination? A world where obedience is rebranded as virtue? So before we throw away what made modern civilization flourish, which is freedom of speech, of thought, of creation, ask yourself, do you want a future shaped by fear and silence or by bold, messy, unpredictable freedom? Because no matter how loud the world screams, America's ideology is the only blueprint ever proven to let humanity communicate, collaborate, and create at scale. And that's why America, not China, is the best bet for the future of us all.
Hey guys, I'm going to show you a video. This video is the propaganda we have been believed for Chinese, majority Chinese. We believed it maybe 30 years. And according to the time I've posted before, many people from other countries also confirm they also believe those propaganda from United States. Here's the video.
So I posted a video earlier talking about one of the many incredibly unbelievable pieces of pro-US propaganda that is disseminated throughout China by US NGOs and immigration offices. Well, there's a lot more. There's a lot more propaganda, and I made a list. There is a list. So the type of message that this pro-US propaganda is spreading as truth is that the United States is generally a paradise, that everyone has high income, and that there is a relatively very low cost of living. They also believe that we have lots of welfare and lots of like really strong social programs, stronger than theirs, and theirs are pretty strong. This pro-US propaganda teaches people that education, that all education and healthcare is free. They say that in the United States, we all experience very low taxation. They say that one person working 40 hours per week can support a family with 3 or 4 kids. And they say that if you don't work at all, don't worry, because the government will completely take care of you. You'll have a place to live, you'll have food, you'll have health care. They also tell everyone, get this, they tell everyone that every American spends half the year traveling or on vacation. They say that houses and cars are cheap and that food is also very cheap to buy. They're not taught at all about property taxes. They believe that once you buy a house, it's yours, and that's it. They're also told that you can buy a house, a big house in Detroit for $1. They're taught that the laws here in the United States are the most just and selfless. They're also taught that there's no favoritism or corruption within like social society, no nepotism, like none of that. They're taught everyone is absolutely equal, and that even the president's children work in like fast food restaurants, and that the president travels by like walking around or taking a bike. They're also taught that there's absolutely no corruption in our government. They believe that you like have absolute right over like your home, that the government can't infringe on that at all. They also believe that like you, if the president comes to your town or something and you don't want him there, like you can kick him out. Like we're not even able to stop the president of a genocidal occupational colony from being here when like he's literally wanted for war crimes internationally. There's so much more like that a dishwasher working 3 months can buy a big house, or that every person in the United States like owns a house, like a big house with like a pool, and we all go to like amusement parks on the weekends. And I believe this is why it's so discouraged within the United States to like speak other languages or learn to speak other languages. Like in our like state curriculum, our K through 12 schools, we don't really focus that hard on teaching foreign languages. And I feel like it's so that people living within the United States in a lot of ways previously weren't capable of like, one, knowing that this was being taught to people because you don't speak the same language, and then aren't able to dispel the propaganda with the truth because again, you're not speaking the same language, but now with like technology and translation features, you're able to do that. So like I highly recommend going over to Xiaohongshu because there's incredible things happening over there by way of dispelling like
When it comes to the USA, we have never had the upper hand over China. Let's talk about how China has just executed the longest hustle in modern history. For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that China is just one giant sweatshop pumping out crap while we are the sophisticated, high-end innovators. And it turns out China has just been patiently waiting for us to be completely dependent upon their manufacturers. They have been mastering every technology, absorbing every industry, and then building an empire that doesn't need us half as much as we need them. And just when Trump thought he was going to flex up on China with his tariffs and trade war, they bitch slapped us right back with transparency. People forget that TikTok is owned by China, so it's not a surprise that every other video right now on your FYP is a Chinese person exposing the insane amount of markup that we pay for the products that they make for pennies on the dollar. Luxury handbags that are going for $3,000 to $5,000 in the United States are now being sold directly from manufacturers in China for $100 to $150. Premium skincare and perfumes are repackaged and sold for 10 times the price. China hasn't even had to fight in this trade war. They literally just dropped the receipts and let Americans wake up and say, oh my God, we have been duped. China's domestic market is operating faster, more efficiently, better, and cheaper with products and things that we invented, from EVs to AI. They have a high-speed rail system that makes our Amtrak look like a horse-drawn carriage. Their cities are so high-tech and high-end, they put our crumbling infrastructure to absolute shame. So after decades of the US media painting China as some dystopian sweatshop, Americans are waking up. Chinese consumers get better deals than we do. Chinese technology is significantly more advanced than ours. Chinese manufacturing isn't inferior, it's just that the United States chooses to sell us overpriced garbage. So now, instead of fearing the Chinese people and that country like we've always been conditioned to, we are now cheering them on while they expose the rot inside of our own system. China didn't destroy American capitalism, they held up a mirror to it and let it destroy.
Hey everyone. I don't typically like to talk about politics on this app because this is my safe space. This is my escape from what's happening here in the States. So I just wanted to let you guys know, all of my foreign friends, that we are in trouble. We are in big trouble, and we really need help, and our government is not doing anything to stop this man in office from hurting us. And it's just absolutely scary. And I'm scared for my family. I'm scared for everybody of color, all the indigenous people. And I'm just wondering, like, what are other foreign governments going to do to stop this man? Like, it's not the Americans' fault. It's his. So.
This is America. Mental illness, no help from doctors. Just putting Band-Aid after Band-Aid, one medication after another. Nothing helps, nothing works. I'm withering away to nothing and I have no answers. This is America. I can't do this.
Are we just going to skip over the part where Donald Trump said that we should send mentally ill people to the Salvadoran concentration camp?
But to have liberty, not everybody is going to be good. And, you know, some are bad because they're sick. They're mentally deranged. They're bad. Right? Then you have to take them. If you're going to have a country, you're going to have to take those people out. And we've been doing that.
What kind of person genuinely thinks that's a good idea? To treat people who have mental illness with a prison sentence? And aside from just how horrific that statement is on its own, has anyone else noticed the specific verbiage that he used? I'm talking about the word deranged. Does that sound familiar to anyone at all? You know how Republicans have been working to try to classify anyone who has criticisms of the Trump administration as deranged under Trump derangement syndrome? Mentally ill? Does that not raise red flags for anyone here? I mean, I guess they're gonna skip the wellness farms and just go straight to a concentration camp. I'm gonna be trying to keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on, so go ahead and follow to stay informed.
You know the worst thing about living in America, in my opinion, is that we have to watch everybody else live these nice, luxurious lives in America, like have nice homes and nice cars, and get to spend time with their family and their children. And we don't get any of that. Like, I've never experienced any luxurious thing in America, ever. I've never had a nice brand new car. I've never owned a home. I don't get to see my own child. They even took that from us. We can't even be in our children's lives. They've made that illegal. You know, it's really a shame because there's plenty of resources for everybody, but some of us in America, especially the minorities, don't get to enjoy any of the comfort America has at all. Like, we don't get anything. We don't even get treated with respect. It's a shame.
This land is feeling not so free. I'm feeling not so brave.
Hi guys, in this world, American imperialism, Zionism, Japanese militarism, and Nazism are cancers of the human spirits. These are the ultimate expression of selfishness, greed, and exclusion, yet they are extremely hard to eliminate. Why? Because of self-interest. Here is the simplest analogy. Suppose you know your child killed your neighbor's child, but the court didn't have solid evidence. As a parent, would you volunteer proof to send your child to prison? I think different parents will answer differently. Now expand this to the national level. If America's elites share wealth to improve your life, but only if you bully other nations, would you still support your country? I think different Americans will answer differently as well. This is human nature. 2,000 years ago, two thinkers in China defined human nature. Mengzi said, human nature is originally good. Xunzi said, human nature is originally evil. Which one is right? We have debated this for millennia without resolution. A civilian picks up a gun and kills a vampire. Is this civilian good or evil? Well, to the vampire, he is evil. To humans, he is good. Thus, good and evil depends on perspective. For example, on tariffs, I've seen some comments argue, China harmed America first. We are merely defending ourselves, so we need tariffs for fair trade. You might say, that's not right, that's not how it works, he's just being stupid. But if we set aside politics and observe the person themselves, we find their intentions were actually good. There's nothing wrong about self-defense. But because they make judgments based on false information, they look evil. Simple as that. So, I believe 80% of human nature is good, and this goodness dominates even in mass movements. Without lies and manipulation, people rarely join wars except in self-defense. This is why China fights only defensive wars, never firing the first shot. We reject manipulating people in the war with lies. While the West does the opposite, feeding lies to make you guys hate us. tricking you into firing first, make you ordinary folks believe that you are defending yourselves. That's why our teacher said, when I say the United States is not good, I only mean that its ruling clique is not good. The American people are very good. Many of them have not yet awakened, but they will surely awaken in the end. Many Westerners have an awakening here. What is awakening? It means correcting your moral compass. Learn more, know more, then use your moral compass to judge rightly. I believe at least 80% of humanity will reject all kinds of wars because your soul knows right from wrong as long as your conscience is back on the right track. As an old saying goes, the bell can only be untied by the one who tied it. American imperialism can only be resolved by Americans. Zionism by Jews, Japanese militarism by Japanese, Nazism by Germans. Any outside forces will definitely leave plenty of room to revise these evil isms again. Take a look at Japanese militarism. If you give Japan the opportunity, they will stage a comeback for sure. Nazism? There is already a bit of a sign. So, we need more people awaken, align our moral compass of the world, with which we might successfully toss all these isms into the trash bin of history.
I'm glad that you watched to this extent, amazing viewer. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know when individualism started being a flex in our society. I don't know when seeing others suffer, almost illegal to see your children because you have to work for a capitalistic world. Without them caring about you. I don't know when it became a flex. I would want people who support their government. I'm not speaking about America, just America right here. I would want people who support their government to also be objective in their thinking. I saw some quotes that were saying, is it illegal to think in the US? And I was like, there are people who are making statements that that make you wonder, are we really still humans? Or have we lost our sanity? Have we lost our humanity? Have we lost what we have as human? What makes us human? Did we just turn into little animals and pets that they have value more than what I'm seeing on social media right now? It is so unfortunate. And I'm glad that there are sensitive people out there, and I would want to keep echoing their voices. I just wanted to show you a different perspective that people have of the situation that we are going through right now. They don't want communism because it favors the community over individuality. Seriously? Oh my goodness. I'm surprised. I'm so surprised by this. Thank you so much for being here. Like the video, share your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe if you're new here. And also share your thoughts in the comment section. Give us some reasonable thing to have a conversation around. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for your love. Guys, the way you're commenting on my videos, it's even overwhelming me right now. And I'm so glad that you're doing it. I appreciate you.